every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Hey! All day, all night, I'll be waiting for all the time. Through the pouring or the sunshine, I'll be waiting for all the time. Ooh, na 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 na. When I'm with you, all day, all night, I'll be waiting for all the time. Things that got the best of me, none worse than when you say it's all the time. My heart's forever broken, and that's why I'll be waiting for all the time. If I need
What happened?
What's going on, everybody? How we doing out there? If people didn't notice, I suck at what I do. I did not have the title updated from yesterday, but I fixed that with no help of David. David, you suck.
Like I said, I didn't remember anything. to be
Where were you?
honest. I couldn't remember any of the things
The
that you
title
wanted to
might
talk
get
about.
fixed again because I don't think it's any good. I just
That's
kind of fucking threw it in there.
It's
But
fine.
how's everybody doing out there? Today is October 10th, 2024. We're just here doing our thing, having some fun. It's already 10 o'clock. Dave, when did it become 10 o'clock? I blame you.
We took too long to get started, and I'm watching Garrett Cole in the 7th with 2 outs. So
You know, it's always nice to see a pitcher that goes into the 7th, and we don't have guys like this. Baseball postseason has been the tale, really more than I've seen in a long time, of trusting your horses versus, going by
analytics.
because we've seen guys dealing taken out in the 5th. Then we've seen guys dealing going into like the 7th and 8th. Like,
Mhm.
it really all depends on the trust level. And
Mhm.
I'm more the old school approach where if a guy's dealing, I don't care if he's going through the 3rd time in the lineup. Let him get hit hard a little bit and then take him out. Like, don't sit there like this is the playoffs. You got to win. You can't just do some analytic bullshit. But I digress. David will be responding.
And it's only like you should only really take the guys out that you trust if the game's being like if it's in danger of being blown away. Like if it's in danger of being blown open, you're like, okay, we don't want this for the game itself and for the pitchers. So then there's a reason to do it. Because I don't like just taking them out for any reason.
And especially too, like, in the late games, like these important games, you have a shorter string, right?
Mhm.
You got to win. Like
Yeah.
right now, the Yankees are up. They don't have to win today. They would like to win today to end it, right? But they don't have to.
Yeah.
So Austin Matthews taking a night off with 0 shots on goal, really chapping your ass. Nate, I get it. It's a little early, but it is what it is. Listen, the Devils lost, so I'm mad about that. But
Mhm.
they had a good start. They'll beat the Leafs around next time. But all right, sports talk over. We actually have no sports talk on here today outside of this. So I'm actually good that we threw some in there. Dave will definitely be responding to Yankees things. You might see some stuff, and we're getting things in the chat too.
I'm usually pretty calm until I actually announce it. So
We're getting things in our group chat though that we have no idea what's going on until because David's behind and I don't dare use my phone as an internet while I'm doing this because then it might just go wonky. So who the fuck knows what's going on with there? Dave will keep us updated and things like that. But all right, we're gonna start off. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do my normal preamble here as we are already 6 minutes into the show doing my preamble. All right, Epstein client list.
Run through it.
We got to make sure David's not on there, so we have to reveal it. There's a good chance David was on there as Mr. Slave when he was younger, just sitting there for all the,
Do you know the money you have to be on that list?
Well, no. You were on the list as one of the slaves. Like P. Diddy brought you there as one of his boy toys with the.
No, P. Diddy wasn't a part of it. P. Diddy had his own island.
No, but I could imagine they crossed over. They're both billionaires.
I don't know.
Both billionaires. They both kind of power players in like
Padres and Royals in the World Series. Vegas loses a lot of money. Royals won right now.
I'd rather not. Yeah, no, they would lose a lot of money, and so would just the MLB in general. Yeah. Because here's the thing: like when good teams are there, but they're not popular teams in all sports. Like people say they want sport parity in sports, and everyone's a liar. No one gives a fuck about parity in sports. We want to see good teams and big teams in there. Baseball is really one of that because your small market darlings are great stories until it matters. Like you only want them to get like to the NLCS or ALCS. Then you don't want to fucking see them there. Like the ideal situation for the league would be if we see Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees and Tigleys, because those two, like those four teams, would any combination would make a compelling World Series. Because even though like Detroit's still a smaller, biggish market one, they had a great run in the 2000s of things that people still remember. So that's what you want to see. Nobody, and listen, Royals are actually one of my second favorite teams. Dave knows this. I love their little crest logo on the blue hats when I was younger and things like that. I will enjoy seeing the Royals if they go. Not right now, honestly. They could go fuck off for the moment. Because the Yankees, I trump the Yankees over the Royals every single time. But yeah, no, there would be very few people that watch a Royals Padres World Series. And you'll always get like a big moment that like ESPN does and like will tell everyone, and then like you'll get like a pop in viewership, right? Like there'll be a World Series moment. Then they can tout like, look, the small markets drove people in when it's like bottom of the ninth, game 7. There's 2 runs. Like yeah.
Okay. I'd like to watch it. I like when sports are fun, but that's not about me. It's about casuals.
It's about casuals. That's the thing. Like diehards will be there, like especially if it's like game 7. The best 2 words in sports is game 7. Which we need to start doing 7-game series in football. Could you imagine that?
No, we don't. You wouldn't have the last game would have just all second string people. Like they wouldn't survive.
So here's what we actually do. How many games are there in the playoffs? If you're a wild card team, was there 4?
Yes.
Okay. So you end the season 3 weeks early. And instead of having a playoffs, the 2 top teams by record in each conference just play a 7-game series.
That's stupid.
Each week.
That's stupid. The playoffs are fun.
It would be fantastic.
No, it's dumb.
It would be great. Then you would decide who's the best team.
Fucking preamble.
Okay. But yeah, so we need to find out if David was a slave in the Epstein Island list. But yeah, no, not joking around about that. We need to figure out who was on the Epstein client list. Girls were raped. Those women are still alive today, and they have to deal with that. And they have to deal with the fact that nobody gives a fuck about finding and bringing the people that did that to them to justice. So we need to absolutely go and find out who's on that list. The people that are still suffering from Hurricane Helene, the ones that are now without anything from Milton, which thank God Milton was downgraded to a 3. Yep. But still, a 3 is still up to 150 miles.
It's still not good.
It's still better. It's much better. We saw that video of what it could do. It could still do devastation, and it did, and it does, and it gave a much better chance of survival for the people that did stay, because there's probably a lot of people. There's always a lot of people that stay, right? If it hit as
on that boat,
if it hit as a Cat 5, it was going to be an absolute death. But the fact that it's hitting on,
what's up, Coach?
Hey, Coach, what's up, brother? Love you too, man.
I don't know if we're the best brother duo, but we are one of them. We are a brother duo.
We exist. But yeah, we appreciate you watching, Coach. But yeah, no, definitely beat Lakewood. Big game coming from Manchester Township.
You better beat Lakewood. You're going to hear it if you don't beat Lakewood.
Number 1, you're going to hear it if you don't beat Lakewood. Number 2, the score of the Rumson game was not the game, okay? There was a few plays. There was some momentum plays that definitely could have shifted it and made it more of a game. That fumble, the dropped interception where it was like fucking miles of area in front. A few terrible calls, a missed grounding call. Like there was a lot that went on. Granted, I'm not taking anything away from Rumson Fairhaven. They're the number 2 team in the state for a reason.
Oh, they're fucking great.
They are deep.
They're damn good.
Long. Their second string would battle in the state already. Like Rumson is a very good, well-coached, incredibly talented team. It's just that it was not a 42-7 game. There's sometimes where the score doesn't tell the story, but I digress. You are what your record says you are. And right now, Manchester's record is sitting in the fucking driver's seat to win the division and get into the playoffs. So that's what we need to do.
Yep.
And Coach, you got to win out because we got to get 8 in a home playoff game. Yep. That's our goal. Let's get 8 in one more time in front of the Hawks Nest. And I know that's as much your goal, Coach, as it is ours. Anyway, let's keep going here with my preamble, as I was so happily interrupted by Coach. Supporting those that are suffering with Helene still. Supporting those with Milton. Apparently, there's another storm that's developing in the Atlantic side of Florida that might make fall as well. So What went from being a very mild hurricane season is now looking to finish up as a pretty destructive one. We haven't really seen any storms up until these last two hitting us, and what is hitting us is pretty damn strong. So pray for them. Support your local charity if you can go down, if you have skills. If you're a veteran right now, the veteran special forces have been taking over down there.
You have anything that you could give, and
Yes,
of
yes.
any people that are organizing something to be able to give to them.
Yeah.
I know, what was it? I think formula, they needed diapers and stuff like that. So
Refrigerators. They need refrigerators. They need
yeah.
work ready boots, which I know those are big items. But if you guys say there's a bunch of people in your community that are trying to figure out what to give, if you can figure out a way to buy a refrigerator, they need refrigeration because with formula, with baby food, baby milk, you need to keep it frozen. So if they don't have refrigeration, all that formula, all that milk goes to waste anyway. So they need refrigeration. If you're wealthy and you have a Starlink, send it down there. I know the Trumps are doing a great job. Elon's doing a great job. Even our federal government chipped in with a whole 50 of them. But still, listen,
anything helps.
Our federal government has had a terrible response, but anything does help. So, like I've said, they don't pay me. I don't care. I choose to support mercury1.org. They're doing great things down there. They're working with Representative Corey Mills. They're working with a bunch of groups down there. The Cajun Navy and the Cajun Navy's down there, Cajun Air Force, who are a bunch of really good people that are doing great things, former military and stuff like that as well, that are organizing and helping out. So any way you can help out, do it. All right, let's continue here. A few more things. Standing with Alex Jones as always. Alex Jones has a chance to come on the show if he wants to. He's trying to be shut down. We don't like that. We're not going to let that happen. So, Alex, anyone reaches us to you, you always have a welcome invite to jump on and speak your mind here. You will never be shut out here. And if they decide to shut us down because you come on, fuck it. But let's do it. And lastly, Moms for Liberty, great organization, fighting for your kids, fighting for your area, fighting for everything to keep Marxist and woke ideology out of it. If you could just donate $1, give $1. And like I've said to everyone, give $1 to your favorite charity for the disaster relief and $1 to Moms for Liberty, and convince everyone around you to do that. If you can do that and it becomes a telephone, we could be looking at millions of dollars to helping out these people. So that is my preamble there. Dave, let's start off the show, shall we? Are you there?
Yeah. 12 minutes ago, leading report. Elon Musk says the highly anticipated Trump appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience will happen.
Oh,
so that's fucking huge.
Is this on X?
Yes. That's big. That's really fucking big.
Here's the thing that is absolutely insane about all of this, okay? That is insane about all of this. If you can't recognize the coalition that Donald Trump has around him, now it could go one of two ways. It could be one of the best coalitions that we've ever seen with a lot of people like your Musk, like Joe Rogan,
new Tims for Vegeta. That's right. Vegeta does need new Tims.
He does need new Tims. But Dave, did you find it? You pulling it up?
Yeah.
Okay, pull it up.
From leading report right here. So Joe is finally fucking cracked under the pressure. Because let's be honest, he's been running away from this. I mean, he might have his reasons, but he had Bernie on. He's had politicians on.
He's talked to RFK.
Yeah. So there's no reason not to have Trump on, honestly, to be completely honest. And it's like, I wouldn't fucking care if he had Biden or Kamala on. Obviously, he can't because Biden's dead and Kamala can't speak.
You know where I think Joe cracked? You know where I think Joe cracked is because he saw Kamala go on Call Her Daddy, and he's like, you know what? If one of the I think he's a competitive guy, and I think that he saw like, fuck it, if they're going to enter the political sphere and they're going to do some shit like this, really, why not me? I'm better than they are. I'm going to be fairer than they are.
There was a clip going around of the first question because I can't remember what episode it was. I just saw the clip going around, and Rogan said something about the first question he would ask Trump if he had him on. And I mean, I didn't watch the clip because I just didn't care. I didn't think he'd actually have him on, to be completely honest. But
that's craziness.
Since that came out, there's been more people being vocal, being like, just have him on, dude. Have him on.
And the thing is, too, it's like, I know Rogan's going to be fearless in his questioning.
Yeah.
He'll be respectful because it's President Trump and he's a respectful guy. He'll be fearless. But
Theo and Andrew probably talked to him too. Yeah, because Andrew Schultz had him on. Theo
Yeah.
Vaughn had him on. Both great conversations. I've seen clips of the Andrew Schultz one. I haven't watched the full thing. I watched the full Theo Vaughn. It's actually fantastic.
Theo Vaughn's a really good interviewer.
Yeah,
He is a very good interviewer.
The Andrew Schultz one, he's funny. Like the guy has charisma. He's actually good interview. Like Trump's a genuinely good interview.
And the difference between this is Theo Vaughn and Andrew Schultz were absolute friendly territory, right? They are conservatives. They lean. They're Trump supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan is a legitimate, as middle of the rung as you will find in America in terms of anything political. Like he's all for drugs. Like he's fine with drugs. And he's very much, he leaned left in a good amount of ways, but he's a logical guy. So he's not fully retarded. So it's like, he'll definitely not. The thing is too, I think him and Trump will get along for that reason because Trump isn't a super conservative. So I think like him and Trump are going to get along.
I think it'll be a great conversation when they do have it. Here's the clip of the first question he would ask Trump. I haven't watched this, like I said, but this is what sparked a lot of conversation about him having Trump on.
Yeah,
I would imagine, and if I talked to him, my number one question would be, what happens when you get in there? Like, what is that experience like? And because no one really knows until you're in office. They don't tell you how it's going to go down if you don't make it. They don't reveal all that. Like, so what is that experience like? And
nothing about what Joe Rogan. Do you hear the heavy breathing behind him?
I don't know who that is.
I think it's his guest. It's really bothering me. I'm sorry because this is actually a pretty good question from Joe. It's just bothering me.
Too. No. That's the difference between like Joe Rogan and some others. Like I'll hear Tim Pool will be like, "Hey, back up from the mic." like he'll interrupt himself or someone to be like, either come closer or back away. Like that's weird.
Okay,
like
I'm sorry.
Joe needs to sit there and be like, "The fuck are you doing, dude?" Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
How can you prepare for it without actually being elected president?
So from my opinion, from my small vantage points, what happens is you get bombarded with complexity, right? What the industries do, you can't touch agriculture incentives even though they're broken. That's going to hurt farmers. You can't, healthcare, the PBMs, I'm hearing this all the time, the PBMs and the insurance companies, all these players, you have to have clarity of vision and an agenda, which President Trump and RFK are talking about, that's super, super clear. It's like, we are going to get pharma funding out of the FDA. We are going to reorient with an executive order the goal of the NIH back to foundational research. We are going to disallow people that make nutrition guidelines for kids to take money from Kellogg's. Like there's 30 things that you can do. And I think what President Trump has talked about and is like, let's stay high level. We're not going to have nuclear war, right? We're going to aggressively call out and push on major policy objectives to take the corruption out of the healthcare institutions, to attack the incentive that every single healthcare institution in America today makes more money when a child is sicker for a longer period of time, just demonstrably. Insurance companies, they make 15% by law profit margin. They want premiums to grow. That's what's happening.
Well, no, it was already at the end. I looked at it and I was like, his answer is actually not bad.
It's a good answer.
And I do think that
I don't even know who that is. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I think the RFK pairing really, really did change Rogan's mind on whether or not he would have Trump on. Because I think Elon's telling the truth about saying it will happen. So I think RFK jumping on to the Trump train said to Rogan, like, okay.
Which is crazy, though. I still can't understand how so many logical people think RFK is a sane human. I don't get it. Like, it is obvious that RFK is a fucking psycho. Just by the things he said in the past. Like, I get it. Listen, he is good on what's in people's foods. You want to make him like the DHS secretary? Let's fucking go, okay? Make him the health secretary and things like that.
Well, I think that's where it's going.
Keep him away from the environment.
No, he's going to be a health guy. He's going to be like a farmer guy. That's what he's going to be.
Keep him away from environment.
I'm not going to lie. The guy's what was it, a bear head?
I mean, some of it's badass.
Was that the story about like he talked about having a bear head, right?
Well, no, they had to bury a fucking dead.
Yeah, he buried a bear head.
And they called him out for it.
Like that shit is pretty fucking crazy, but also part of it pretty badass. Like if there's a story that I could tell where for some reason I had to bury a fucking decapitated bear head, that's a story you kind of want to tell. That's a story which might make you look not great, but it's something I would want to talk about.
I mean, it's better than Christy Noam talking about going back and shooting her dog. So
It's because like don't fucking put it in your book. Look, there might be a time where you want to put a dog out of your misery, but I don't even think that's what the point of it was. I think the dog wasn't listening or something.
So here's the thing: Nicole Shanahan, very progressive woman, RFK's VP. Yup, went on Dave Smith and endorsed Trump. So here's the thing: she also went on Glenn Beck. She's been on Glenn Beck shows a few times. I've heard her. I don't fucking trust her. Okay, she was only RFK's running mate. She had a ton of money. That's the only reason he put her there, because she was able to continue to bankroll his campaign.
And I mean, RFK, he's got that Kennedy charisma, man. He's been
he definitely fucking
banging like left and
like,
right, man.
He's
Was Olivia Nuzzy?
she
got
got him nudes.
It's that Kennedy charisma, man. I don't know what
Dude,
it is.
he
He drives
sounds
the
like
women mad. He's got the
sounds like
mojo.
a frog's in his throat, though. Could you imagine? Hey, you want to come back to my
don't know
place?
it,
Oh my god!
But you are full of star.
Oh my god! Listen, the Venture Brothers were so good. Brad Neely, I would probably
not Venture Brothers.
No, it was Brad. Well, it's Brad Neely.
It was Neely Comics because
Neely
Venture
Comics.
Brothers is different. You're thinking of like China, Illinois, and stuff like that.
But no, that was the original version of the Venture Brothers. They weren't the Venture Brothers then, but that was not the Venture.
No,
not the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, I was like, it's not
Venture Bros are different. Venture Bros.
Yes.
Are one of the greatest.
I was pulling it up just to be like, you're
not
completely
Venture Bros.
fucking
What were
wrong.
It was the Professor Brothers. The Professor.
Yeah, Professor Brothers.
Yeah, I knew it was. No, I'm sorry. I apologize to Venture Bros.
I was about to
Bros, one of the greatest shows
BTFO
of
you
all
right there
time.
because you were annoying me at that point. I was like,
Venture
no
Bros is
fuck,
one
you're
of the greatest
wrong
shows
about
of all
this.
time. I'm sorry, Venture Bros. Venture Bros has more depth than
Venture
most
Bros is fan-fucking-tastic.
It is so fucking good. I love that. You know what? I might have to marathon Venture Brothers.
Yeah,
Like,
I have to watch it over again. It's been a long time, and I haven't watched all of it. I just caught episodes.
That and when they did C Lab 2021, which made fun of C Lab 2020.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, listen, old school Adult Swim was the go. And I wish I was actually my age now when I really started watching it, because it was good then. I could imagine as an actual adult, it was probably fucking golden.
Straight up, Super Jail episodes, not even the plot of Super Jail episodes, but how fucking colorful and outrageous Super Jail was sticks out in my head. Like I can pick out how Super Jail looks all the fucking time.
Oh, dude, Super Jail was just a mess. That was a fucking trip on acid.
It's an absolute mess. Like you're supposed to be on drugs when watching Super Jail, but you didn't need to be because it would just still take you to that place.
Oh my god. That is. Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
Pull up what you got.
I mean, no, Tim and Eric was a pretty good show. Tim and Eric, awesome show.
Tim and Eric was a great show.
Tim and Eric, they were very, they're good comedic guys. But again,
there's so many fucking memes that came from, like literal, like
people don't
modern
know that they're using
Tim and
it.
Eric. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, I truly believe that Zach Galifianakis got the ideas from Between Two Ferns from some Tim and Eric skits, because that was very similar to Tim and Eric's style in a lot of ways.
Probably.
But I also think
Show
they're probably
great,
friends. Brack Show was overrated.
It was
I'm
good.
sorry.
It was good.
Space Coast Coast to Coast was significantly better in the.
It was better, but Brack Show still was good.
It was okay. I was disappointed by the Brack Show.
It's fair.
Moral Oral was really good. Home Movies. H. John Benjamin is one of the great. Honestly, Bob's Burgers is fucking terrible.
I hate
but
Bob's Burgers.
It's
other than Bob's Burgers, I like his other stuff. But Bob's
Burgers sucks. H. John Benjamin was amazing though, because Archer is fantastic. H. John Benjamin owns a van was just fucking funny. He's incredibly creative. His hipster time with Bob's Burgers is bad. Like it's rules. Yes.
Oh my, I can't remember. I gotta look that up.
Squidbillies.
It sounds familiar. Squidbillies
was insane. Dude, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I love it.
Holy shit. The movie was so good. And the fact that Aqua Teen.
Yes. That's Brule. Thank you. It's Steve Brule. That's why I couldn't fucking remember.
Sorry. Though, Dave, was the best part, because it started off as like, it was a bunch of like rappers, like Vacation Time, baby. And then as they got more of a plot, it went away from like the little like rap intros, and then it just became fucking crazy. It went off the rails. And it was so good.
One of my favorite episodes of basically any comedic show ever is when the Fruit family invades their home. Because it's such an incredible episode. It's so funny. Frisky Dingo.
Assy McGee was another one. Assy McGee was so stupid.
8-ounce mouse. It was weird.
What was it? The Devil's it was the Devil one with the Devil's Daughter or something like that.
Oh, you're thinking of
it's not an anime. There was an anime.
No, you're thinking of Ugly Americans.
No, it was another one. It was like it was like the devil's daughter. It was like like her name or something like that. It was
Trying to
an
remember.
Adult Swim show, and like I remember like
Because you're not thinking of Your Pretty Little Face is Going to Hell.
no, that's
Hell is-
another one.
But that's a good one. That's a fun one because it's all like office workers in hell. And that's a pretty funny one.
Yeah, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? The hospital one where they were the worst fucking doctors of all time.
Oh, I can't remember. We can go on.
The one
forever
was
with
the
Adult
clown
Swim.
that was the
yeah.
doctor.
I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
It was God, Adult Swim, and don't mention like the original friggin' Robot Chicken. The
Yeah.
original Robot. Well,
Yeah.
I remember being over my friend's house. We had him on Rhetoric. I was over at
Mhm.
Rhetoric's house,
Mhm.
and we were watching. We saw the premiere, and it was like Seth Green was behind it with some other people, and that was back before Seth Green was just nobody.
Mhm.
And just remember like watching and just laughing.
Lucy, the daughter to Thank You Coach.
Yes, Lucy the daughter. That was
Oh, man.
true. That's what I'm talking
I
about. Coach.
forgot about
Fuck yeah,
that.
yes.
Holy
Lucy the daughter to
shit.
Such a great show. But Robot Chicken, I remember crying. The one moment they went from like the robot humping the friggin' washing machine, then all of a sudden you see the guy taking a live pup of the baby and start punching inside the thing. Like, it's like,
So
what is
fucking
this?
stupid. I love old Robot Chicken. I know a lot of people don't like a lot of Robot Chicken, but I love old Robot
The
Chicken.
first season of Robot Chicken was gold.
The
Second
giraffe
season-
going through the 7 stages of depression. It was an incredible bit.
when it's like beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
Metalocalypse.
How did we forget?
Dude, just that intro is always stuck in my head.
Mhm,
And it was like so. Oh,
There's good fucking songs that come out of that thing.
oh,
but
Metalocalypse was a legit, like the songs that were
It's awesome.
legitimately good. They were awesome.
but more, I guess technically more recent. They're the teens. They're not really recent, but like they're infomercials that come out, like Too Many Cooks at like 3 a.m. Too Many Cooks, unedited footage of a bear. Those are so fucking. I love those shit. I love that shit because it's so
Yeah.
out there, so creative, and it comes on when everyone shouldn't be watching Adult Swim, and they're usually on something or just they're so fucking sleep
Yep.
deprived that they're gonna be fucked up by what happened on the screen right there.
The original Adult Swim lineup for like the first 5 years of Adult Swim was just well, you got to remember too.
Well, going from Toonami to Adult Swim, it's awesome.
And the thing is though, like
You just
They
waited, you
finally-
just kept going.
they got a category for their nightly shows because you got to remember, like Space Ghost and stuff like that was not originally part of Adult Swim.
Mhm,
Space Ghost Coast to Coast was always on there
mhm,
as like their nightly show.
mhm.
And the fact that people didn't realize what type of interview it was going to be half the time, just watching people get fucking livid at Space Ghost for just being an absolute dickhead to them. And just like it was so good. It was just, it was so dry and bland. And just like they took like the dumbest stock poses of Space Ghost and just did it. Like he'd be saying something, and all of a sudden he'd be like, and you said, like it was so stupid, but it was so incredible. And to mock like a legitimately good superhero show like that, like you would never see somebody sell that property like they
Boon-
would now.
Boondocks was on Adult Swim for a
Yeah,
bit?
Boondocks was
I
no,
couldn't
no, that
fucking
was the
remember
original
that.
run of Boondocks. was-
Yeah, holy shit.
The
because-
original run was Adult Swim because it was the only
Incredible
place you could
show.
get it on there.
Yeah.
And-
Children's Hospital.
Children's that was it in the fucking.
This is not a
crowd.
topic for tonight. I don't know how the fuck we got on.
No,
this,
it's amazing
to
though.
be
I'm
honest.
okay with it. We're gonna go so much. This is why we go longer. But yeah, no. So, and that's the thing too. Like those shows. Again, this is back before. This is also the Wild West of YouTube.
Well, the thing
This
is, Adult Swim to me is the channel where people can actually be creative with what they're doing. Like where people can go and do the most out of line shit, do whatever the fuck they want to do. The kids had a pool and
This is the YouTube generation. That was that, and they're all now on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
They're all
well-
now here doing edgy shit on YouTube. Probably.
Does Adult Swim carry Smiling Friends? Smiling Friends is fucking funny, dude. I don't know if you've watched any Smiling Friends.
haven't
Smiling
watched
Friends is
Smiling
good, but it's YouTubers. That's only NG.
But
And- but-
apparently, Adult Swim has kind of gotten back to being a little edgy. Someone has told
Yeah.
me like some of their shows are actually really fucking good again.
Yeah.
But and the thing is too, like Adult Swim also went through their phase where they were just like anime for like a few years.
Yeah.
Like they were just like Adult Swim and have like some of their regular shows,
Mhm.
but then they also went, but it was all uncut. Like you would watch like the Dragon Ball movies, but it'll be uncut with blood, with cursing, and you'd get like some of the real like edgy and like deep dark anime that were really good. Like with Death Note going, like Uncut Death
remember
Note was fucking sick.
Sleeping over Rob's house. They never saw episode 7 of Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh no!
And they watched episode 7 of Full Metal Alchemist, and they were not okay. I knew it was coming, but they were not okay.
One of the saddest moments in anything history. Help me. It hurts to think about it.
It's a great episode.
No, yeah, it is. It honestly,
fantastic episode.
Fantastic show. Just the way they tackle topics. Like Full Metal Alchemist just tackled so many topics in
even
so
though if
many
you
ways.
want like the full thing, you do watch Brotherhood. Not Brotherhood is actually the better rendition. Of
Brotherhood is the better rendition, but there were some parts about the ending that the original did better. They took some liberties in Brotherhood also, which was annoying, and some of the things that they did in the original actually were a little bit better. And some of the animation at times was better, which is fucking weird. But yeah, no, there were some things that the original did better. I'm not gonna completely knock it, but maybe it's because that's the one that I watched. But all right, should we actually get to the show now?
Yeah.
Hey, let's do it. So we're starting off here. Our lead one. Rumor: Marvel Studios significantly altering relationship between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom. So this caught my eye because I was like, excuse. Not surprising, but excuse. So they obviously have the picture of RDJ as Dr. Doom, which I'm hoping that our theory the other night was correct, that he's not going to stay as Doom. But they're radically altering. And again, this is our buddy John Trent. We had him on last night. Him writing this article. It was yesterday that he wrote it. So this is an awesome Valentine's Day picture. I never seen this before.
Yeah, you never saw that?
No, this is sick.
Yeah, that's one of the promo things.
It is actually. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. Even though Pedro Pascal ruins it, this is Pedro Pascal. He doesn't look like since when did fucking Reed Richards become Pancho Villa? Like, what is this? Like, Reed Richards is as much like
Reed Richards is gonna start trying to fight windmills, man.
You want to talk about the patriarchy? Like, Reed Richards was the patriarchy. Okay, he was that nerdy white dude that was smarter than you and probably was better than you. And why is he wearing baggy clothes? Like, he's supposed to. Fuck you, Pedro Pascal. Anyway, he probably had them make him more muscular just because he's so fucking skinny in real life. Jesus Christmas. Okay, so according to a scoop from Alex Perez at the Comic Circus, iconic relationship will be non-existent. Perez was asked by a user, will Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom's dynamic in the MCU Secret Wars be any bit close to how important / impactful it is in the 2015 Secret Wars comic? Perez said, it's going to be hard, if I'm perfectly honest with you, mainly because Doom and Reed don't really interact in the Fantastic Four movie. So Dave, first impression. What?
Obviously, I don't like it from a lore perspective. But when it comes down to it, Marvel has broken so much of the lore that it almost makes sense for them to try to do things a little differently, to be quite honest. Trying to go back to the lore with this rendition of Fantastic Four and Doom probably wouldn't work. They would fuck it up. They would actually fuck it up. And RDJ as Dr. Doom, like we said, I don't think he stays as Dr. Doom. He's going to be some form of Tony Stark. He's going to be something else. It's not going to be like the Victor Von Doom we know. So I think that's the issue. And that's why they won't have the same relationship that they're supposed to have. So it like, I'm not trying to defend him here. Yeah, it's stupid in any way. No, but you have to think about, like, why the fuck would they do it? And whether or not it'll work, it won't. I'm almost certain it won't.
It won't.
It won't. But there's at least reasoning to do it that way. It might not be great, but there's some reasoning there.
Here's where they might get like some sympathy from me. It's because unlike so many other, comic book properties where, yes, they may start off with a villain, but that's like the first villain they meet in the comic book. You don't have to be married to that, right? What they have to do here in Fantastic Four is the fact that Victor Von Doom was on the mission with this group that got them their powers marries Von Doom to the Fantastic Four in a way that no other superhero group has to be married to their main villain, right? I don't know how they are going to get Victor Von Doom his powers and everybody else if he's not on that mission with them, because that is quite literally how they all get it. They, in some versions, they think Victor's dead and, something happened. Like, they don't know what happens to Victor, right? So there's different ways they went about it, and like there's no one right way, but it's like How are you going to give Victor Von Doom his powers if he's not there? That's how he gets them.
Yeah,
So it's interesting.
you could find a way to do it. 100%. You could just find a way to do it now, making it coherent, making it good writing. That's not something Marvel's used to nowadays. So whether or not it would be good and how they do it is up in the air. But you could find a way to get him the powers. You can find a way for them to interact in some way that's not the same way it was and not as close as how it used to be. So I don't even think that's necessarily a huge issue. And I think that I don't know. It's difficult because if I remember correctly, this Fantastic Four is in like the 1950s. It's a different multiverse. It's a different universe. So it's like a 1950s Fantastic Four. So I don't know. It's all up in the air and how they're going to write it, and making like Nate says, maybe the RDJ Von Doom is a weird way to get to infamous Iron Man. Yeah, I can see that. I just don't see this being the Victor Von Doom we know. And that's the whole thing. If it's not, then it makes sense to write it in a different type of way.
Yeah. All right. So let's continue with what he said. I'd like to think of it more as Thanos and Tony in Infinity War, where like Tony knew a threat from space was coming, but he didn't know exactly who it was until Infinity War. Yet Thanos knew nearly everything he needed to know about Tony. Just switch Thanos with Doom and Tony with Reed. So here's what I would have.
Well, there you go, though. So hold up real quick. There you go. RDJ played both Tony, now Doom. So they're using RDJ's name to create a Thanos-like character. Doom, obviously, up there. He is a Thanos-like villain, at least
he's that level.
size.
He's
exactly.
Absolutely that level.
Exactly. And they're trying to make another big protagonist like RDJ was as Iron Man and Reed Richards, which Reed should be. So they're trying to bring that
Omegas, yes.
Yeah, they're trying to bring that dynamic back, and I don't fault them for wanting to try it, especially if they're actually trying to course correct over how much they fucked the MCU.
And they're gonna bring in female Silver Surfer, and then nobody's gonna.
No, that's it's stupid. That's stupid. But the thing is, if she's not like a big part, if she's just there as some kind of messenger in some way, you can almost kind of forgive it. Yeah, but the thing is, if she's not there, like. I don't know, just bullshitting her way through things and girl bossing her way through things, then like it's not that big of a deal. If you understand what I'm saying, like if she's just there as a messenger of like Galactus is a thing or whatever, if she's just there to just propel the story in some way while not having her be some fucking huge, impactful, like I don't need no man type shit, then it's not that crazy. Yeah. You can find ways to make these stories and include things that won't piss off everybody. And whether or not they'll do that, I don't know.
You know, again, like you said, if they go a completely different direction with it and they just kind of say, you know, fuck the lore, we're actually going to create our own, you're going to get the characters, you're going to get probably their personalities, but we're not going to follow it directly. If they take that brave and bold approach, okay, this might work, honestly, because they just have to completely go in a completely and totally different, like they can't try and make it. And I mean, for me personally, real quick, I would have loved if they would have included everything as normal, but then Doom fucks off after the beginning of the movie and he's gone all movie.
I don't think they even see him in this first one.
And that's
that's what they said.
You know, if he's just, I mean, I don't like that they don't know Victor. I don't like that. I feel like they should know him, and then he kind of pisses off. They think he's dead, and then he comes back, and in the next movie, and then he's the big bad there. Mm-hmm. That I would have been okay with if they're dealing with like maybe like Galactus in this one. Like, you know what I mean? If something happens like that, or I don't even know. Like they have a ton of things that they could do. And the thing too is like what could be weird is Fantastic Four and Iron Man had a ton of crossover in like the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. So this could be a way of trying to bring that crossover to life where maybe like Tony's pretending to be Doom for whatever reason, and then he's Iron Man and to do something, because you cannot keep Robert Downey Jr. in there and not make him Iron Man. I don't care if it's the 50s. I don't care if it's 10, 20, 50, 1950, fucking 1550. I don't care. He's Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm trying to take this as if like they're actually going to try to be competent. Really, my level of trust in that is very low. I mostly think it's going to come out and not be good at all. But if I'm trying to take it as them being competent and giving reasons for why the fuck they would do this to try to unscrew themselves, fans will nitpick everything. We do that all the time because we love the things that we love,
Yeah, even
and
if
we
we
want to
like it,
see
we
it, and we want to see it done as perfect as it could be.
Fans nitpick
But-
the shit out of it. Fans that love Deadpool and Wolverine still nitpick the crap.
Yes.
out of it,
Yeah,
even
no,
though it was great.
I do. I think the movie's good, but I will nitpick the fuck out of it.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that if you take characters and you still keep them true to their characters, you can get away with things. Nolan got away with a lot with Batman.
Yeah.
A lot with
did.
Batman. Dark Knight Rises, he overstepped, but he got away with a lot with Batman. But because he stayed true to character and he made him good movies, it worked. People fucking love Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
I will go to my grave that Batman Begins is better than Dark Knight. Anyway,
That's fine. No, like that's fine. I don't even think that's a bad opinion.
Scarecrow and Raja Gould were so good.
Most people would even say, well, at least agree that Batman Begins is a better Batman movie than Dark Knight, as in Batman acts like himself more in that movie than Dark Knight. The thing that Dark Knight really elevates is Heath Ledger. Joker is so fucking good.
I'm the Batman. No, that your best is the where is it?
Yeah, where is it? Bale is so fucking weird as Batman sometimes, man.
I mean,
So weird.
listen, but Bale, I think it was the combination of both, because on screen you saw that Bale and Heath Ledger had great chemistry in terms of like the good and bad guy. They made that really well in Dark Knight. And I think for the first time in a long time, we saw the Joker be what we thought the Joker would be in real life, right? There's not the campy, he is the psycho crime boss that does not give a fuck.
Because
He's
like
chaos. He's just chaos.
In Nolan's story, in his world of Gotham, Joker wouldn't be a Jack Nicholson Joker.
No.
It wouldn't be this more of a camp Joker where he's still chaos, but he's like laughing, he's doing it would be more like the Joker that he portrayed, where it'd be more realistic, and
Joaquin Phoenix Joker as well would probably fit in if he ever became fully evil Joker, but just like the insane side. And
Nolan Heath's is more commanding, like it's a different type of Joker.
Of course it is.
And I mean, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is now fucked because of Follow You Do, but I digress. Also, Yankees moved on.
Yankees win. Yankees win. Thank you.
But no, it's just difficult when you hear these things coming out before the movie's coming out already.
Even though I have had people that have said they truly enjoy it. Like I like Pac-Ray Unleashed. We watch it.
Mhm.
Jeff Fisher, Jeff of Chewing the Fat, said he absolutely enjoyed it.
What?
The new
Follow You Do?
The Follow You Do.
I know some people
enjoyed it. He enjoyed the musical aspect.
Yeah,
He
some people really like it, and that's fine.
He thought that he with his eyes, he said it did a good job of getting into their heads when they went into song. That it did actually progress things along. If you took it as they're now in their own worlds, and he said he actually gave it a positive review. Now, Pac-Ray hates musicals, so he was like, "It's a musical, I hate it already." So,
bummed we never got to see out Joseph Gordon-Levitt Robin. Yeah, that could have been 100% interesting. I don't know if it didn't really. I don't think they had enough juice to keep making those types of movies. To be honest, if they had. If it were up to MCU, we would still be getting those movies, and they might have dipped in quality. So it might be best to leave it off where it was.
What they should do is they should call Christopher Nolan back and say, skip Robin, get Joseph Gordon-Levitt back. Let's do a Nightwing. Let's do like one really good Nightwing movie. We don't have to do anything crazy, or bring him back to just be Red Hood and Pattinson's fucking Batman.
Look, the one thing that they haven't tapped into, they still have the chance to. Keaton's alive, is Batman Beyond.
Oh my god.
Which would be fucking incredible.
But they would fuck it up.
They would fuck it up, but that's something that they could 100% tap into. Keaton still can play Batman.
And here's the thing.
Can still do it.
Even if you call Ben Affleck back, Ben Affleck would be a perfect old Batman as well. He works. He works as an here's the thing. You can argue that Ben Affleck is Batman. You can argue he's the best Batman.
Yes, you could argue, but he's not.
That Ben Affleck is the best rendition of Batman we've ever seen.
Yeah. But I mean, like you can make him up, but old Batman, but yeah. But actually, what I was going to move on to real quick, but I've heard great things about the Penguin,
Me
and
too.
before the Penguin came out, I can't remember if it was the showrunner, but someone working on the show said like they changed his name. It's not Oswald Cobblepot, it's like Oz or something like that. It's Oz, whatever. And they changed his name because they didn't think like it was like too corny. And you know, like us as Batman fans, it's like kind of fuck you.
That's
I
his
want it
name,
to be Oswald.
dickheads.
Yeah, exactly. But you can do these things, and you could have this leniency if you're making something that's good. So like so far, I've heard nothing but good things about the Penguin. And great, that's awesome.
And
like I
here's the
want
thing.
these shows, I want these things to be fun.
And here's the thing too, by naming him Oz, it still opens up the possibility later of somebody that knows him from the past coming in and being like, Oswald, this isn't you. You know what I mean? Like they still open it up to calling him Oswald at some point.
Yeah,
Oz is just a nickname, right? Like he could go by Oz his whole life. And then all of a sudden he could be like, someone could come in and just be like, Oswald, what are you? You know what I mean? Like, so they did it smart because it's not like they changed it to Clarence. Like there's no going back from Clarence to Oswald, right?
Yeah.
Oz is still, it's close enough that it's not truly offensive. You know, it's like if someone was named William and they called him Bill, like, okay, he's still William, right? They just decided to maybe change up, do a minor thing like this is ours. It's not that.
Yeah.
I didn't see Kino Casino.
I didn't either. I haven't caught up. I've been fucking off. I'd like to sit down and have the time to listen, and that's fucking hilarious. It is pretty Kino. If he did it to slight WB because WB forced him to make Joker 2, then it is kind of funny. But I don't think that it is because Todd Phillips is kind of coming out and like being a bit dickish about it, which is annoying. I like Todd Phillips. I don't mind him. Here's
the thing. It could be that Todd Phillips was going out to burn WB's money. And then while creating it though, was like, fuck it. I'm still going to try. I'm still going to be proud of what I did. I'm still going to make something good.
Yeah.
And that's why he's getting defensive. Like whether he wanted to make it or not, if WB was like, get the fuck back here, he's probably going to be like, okay, I'm going to do something. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be very different. I'm going to try and make it good. Yeah. Even though I know it might not be good. Like, so it's like, I feel like he's still trying and that's why he's getting defensive, but he might have.
Probably. I mean, like, you never like, even if he did want to kind of come out and pull out a stinker, like you do defend your art. Like like it's going to happen. You're going to get defensive about your art.
And you also go in there. And even if you try to make a stinker, Joaquin Phoenix is acting. It is very hard he is going to be good. The movie can be bad, but Joaquin Phoenix is going to be good just because he's fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Like the guy doesn't do bad acting jobs. He is a professional to a T. And you probably would not want to meet him in a fucking dark alley.
No, I watched fucking Beau is Afraid, which is a 3-hour Ari Aster movie. Absolutely insane movie. Most people probably not want to watch it, but Joaquin Phoenix leading, and he did a fan-fucking-tastic job.
Honestly, I feel like he wouldn't even attack you. He would just like walk by you and just stab you with the used needle and keep walking. Like I feel like he's that guy. Like he wouldn't attack you. He would just walk away and then just keep going. Like and be like, as he did it, like trot away. Like he wouldn't do anything like overtly hurting you besides trying to give you like meningitis,
Hep C.
like Hep C. Like so
it was cool seeing Keaton and Flash. It was.
I didn't see the Flash.
Well, no, but you could. I've seen clips of Keaton.
I don't want to see the Flash.
I know. I didn't want to see it, but like I said, I saw clips. But Keaton can still fucking do. He can still do Batman. He still can do Beetlejuice. Like I've seen clips of him in the second one. Like the man can still act just fine, even though he's old. Like he can do very well actually in these roles.
The reason why I'd agree with you with possibly the Batman Beyond, we just saw that in the blink of an eye, Bruce Willis, who's so fucking good in all of his roles, can't do it because age got to him, and he's ill now.
Yeah, well, I can't remember exactly the illness, but he's like,
I think he has dementia.
He lost motor function. I think
lost motor. Yeah, he has something pretty debilitating.
Which is awful.
Which is awful because like. I was hoping we were going to get one more Red because I love the Reds. Retired and Extremely Dangerous 1 and 2 were really freaking good and funny. Helen Mirren was fantastic. Whatchamacallit? What's his name? John Malkovich was just legendary as always. Like you had such a great cast of older actors and actresses in there. And whatchamacallit from Weeds, she's really good too. So,
but that's the thing.
So we need to take advantage of when we have a guy like Keaton now,
who's down to do it.
Like let's get this done.
Yeah,
and you know too, it's like Michael. we're not gonna ask you to do a lot. You know, you're gonna have to do like the original, do the early scene where you do it, and then you can't do it anymore, and you need to figure out a way to get away from being Batman, and boom. Now, who would you like to see be Terry McGinnis?
Ooh, that's a difficult question.
You
Oh,
know
I
who
don't
would
know off
like
the
to
top of my
see?
head.
God, what's his name? I can't remember. He goes on side scrollers. He's been a fucking star, the Asian guy.
Mark?
He's-
No,
No, not Marcus.
you're talking about
God, I wanted to have him. He has two X's, one to be a dickhead and one to like be like normal.
Cogman?
Cogman.
Cogman Lee.
Common
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah.
He'd be a great fucking Terry McGinnis. I think Terry is part Asian.
It would be in it. Yeah. I haven't watched in a minute.
I think Terry is part Asian.
Yeah.
Speaking of Asians, can we get an American Dragon Jake Long?
We would never get that, actually.
That would be so good. The American Dragon Jake Long was awesome. Nate, that's who could be better.
The Rock.
Terry McGinnis. Maybe Crash Holly
Real quick.
or Jean-Claude Van Damme. No, Steven Seagal needs to go do it.
Guess who said that they would be up for playing Dumbledore in a TV series?
Whatchamacall? Wasn't it Ian McCall?
No.
He assumes he's gonna. Oh no, that's Lord of the Rings. He's gonna be Gandalf.
Gary Oldman.
Oh my God! Please.
Gary Oldman said he literally said he would do it. So why would I would be immediately on the phone? Like 110%.
Oh my God. Considering like, and that's the thing too. He loved the series so much that he decided he wanted, because he was Sirius Black. So it's like, oh my God.
It would be incredible.
Here's the thing though. Oh,
I got it.
here's the thing. Who's then playing Sirius Black? And like, if
I'm
you
not sure, but you could
would be-
find some Gary would be perfect for Dumbledore.
Gary Oldman is another one. He is like Joaquin Phoenix. You don't get a bad Gary Oldman performance
Exactly.
ever. Like, and the thing is too, one of the things I love, it's like, do you know what method acting really is? And they just show all the different versions of Gary Oldman.
Mhm.
And it's like, he is a chameleon. I don't understand how he does it,
Yep.
because he's such a plain normal looking dude in real life.
Yep.
Like, he is incredible. God.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, oh man, now we're just going off.
We're going-
Random stuff. We
You
just
don't
going
have
on
to
a
get everything.
tangent.
But where is the new actor or actress that is this? Like, who do we have right now that you can think of that is the Joaquin Phoenix, that is the Gary Oldman, that is the Michael Keaton level, that
I'm not
is a
gonna lie to
guy
you.
or a girl that can do this?
So you might hate me for it.
Nate,
See you,
thank you so
Nate.
much as
Have a
always,
good time
brother.
with
We
your family,
appreciate
man.
it. Yes.
Yes, we do. Wish you back some new Tims, my
Them
boy.
new Tims, you got buy you some new Tims. Later, Nate.
Later. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Watching Dune 2, fucking Chalamet killed it. Killed it as Paul. Absolutely killed it. Now
he's been good
his
in other
frame and
things.
everything, he needs to be able to change his body shape for the roles, but like
Here's
he
another one.
fucking destroyed it as Paul.
What about Robert Pattinson? He's now showing that he could be
Robert
good in 3
Pattinson's
roles.
good. He's really
And
yeah,
very
Robert
good in
Pattinson
3
was.
roles.
And if you don't believe in Robert Pattinson, go watch The Lighthouse. Go watch The
Yeah,
Lighthouse.
yeah,
Go watch him
at
go
least
toe to
yes.
toe with Willem Dafoe. You can see his acting chops there.
Now,
So
what
like
about
Pattinson, Chalamet, I honestly think Chalamet is a good actor.
now? Do we see possibly people love Jenna Ortega and Zendaya? Are we seeing them as 2 potential ones?
I
that
don't.
I don't know enough of a body of their work.
Out of the things I've seen Zendaya, and I'm sorry if I
I think
said
it's
it wrong.
Zendaya.
Yeah, I things I've seen her in, I don't think she's like has the range for it to become.
I hear she's good in Euphoria. I've never seen Euphoria. I hear she's pretty damn good in Euphoria.
Yeah, but it almost seems like in Euphoria, she's just playing the Mary Jane from the new Spider-Man.
That's
So I don't think it's enough. to
The
be
range
completely
isn't
honest.
there right now. Not yet.
Yeah. Jenna Ortega, she's been more of a scream queen. She's more of a horror person. She has a look to her. I haven't seen her in anything that's outside of that area. So I don't know.
And I know people bring up like Millie Bobby Brown, but like I don't know like so many things that Millie.
I didn't
Bobby
watch
Brown
Stranger
is on.
Things.
Yeah, it's like that's like I don't know, and that's the thing though. Like your generational ones, you don't need to watch, like right? Like
Yeah,
you'll
and
find out.
we don't have that star.
Yeah.
We don't have Brad Pitt. We don't have Tom Cruise. I said Tom Cruise. Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Toretto. We don't have family.
But we don't have the people we don't have that Will Smith run. Will Smith had a fucking run of being the top star in Hollywood.
And
We
like
don't-
right now, it's like
we
The
don't
Rock.
have that.
The Rock is
Yeah, the
probably
Rock.
your
The
biggest
Rock
action
plays the
star.
same fucking character in every goddamn movie. He's always in the jungle. Somehow he's always in the jungle. It makes no sense. And like
He ends up in the jungle
He's
and Tom
not-
Cruise has to run. Like
Yeah.
those are the two things in movies. Like Tom
yeah, but
Cruise
Tom
has to
Cruise,
run
when he's
in every
running away
movie.
from gay thoughts. Like there's a difference there. There's a reason for it.
Hey, Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder is one of the greatest.
Oh, he's
roles.
fantastic when he sprints off at the end like a superhero.
But just like when he's like, "Oh yeah, apple
Yeah.
bottom jeans."
But The Rock's not some superstar. He's not
No,
the
he's a-
Hollywood
He's an
A-list
action
superstar.
star, and he's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Like you can take that role, and honestly, I wouldn't even tell him. I wouldn't even put him up there with, like Schwarzenegger or Stallone. I wouldn't fucking do that. Like he's not like an '80s action star,
No,
but he does his things, and he's fine. I don't want to kill The Rock on it, but he's just not there. He's not what that is, and we don't have that big kind of superstar that everyone knows and that people just go to the movies to see.
so I'm looking up like top young actors, and I really just like don't recognize them.
Actually, you know the person that people are gonna go see and might not be because of her acting, but Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney,
yeah,
people will
she has
go
sex
see
appeal.
her.
She has sex appeal. She has
Yes.
that. Yeah, which is big.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
it's
you
not a
need
bad
that.
thing at
Well, listen,
all.
people also go to Millie Bobby Brown because Millie Bobby Brown's a good-looking girl too.
I don't really care about
She's
her.
not bad looking. But here's the thing: it's not, listen, you're not going to look at Millie Bobby Brown and look away. She's not an ugly woman. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, but I'm trying to look. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe, I haven't seen enough. Ezra Miller should be
Radcliffe's
in
good,
jail,
but yet again, Radcliffe,
I feel
he's
like
Harry
Radcliffe-
Potter still.
but I feel like he'd rather be on the stage. I feel like he seems like someone who would rather be on a stage at this point as like a stage. And he made his
can't-
money. He doesn't need to.
He cannot get
Ooh.
away from Harry Potter.
Cameron Monaghan's a good one. He was the
I don't
one
know
in he was in Shameless. He was Ian in Shameless, and he was also the Joker in Gotham, which everyone loved his Joker in Gotham. Look up Cameron. Here, I'll bring him up. Are you bringing him up?
Yes.
Cameron Monaghan.
Oh, from I know him from whatchamacallit.
He's in a few things. He's
We're the Millers.
Yeah, no, is that the same kid?
Is that not
no,
him?
no. That's not him. That's a different.
Okay. Oh shit. He looks similar.
Yeah. no,
Either
that's a
way.
different one. But he's good.
Okay.
I like Cameron Monaghan. He's done a few things now that
He's in Click.
was he in Click? Click
He
was a
was in
great
Click,
movie.
yeah.
Okay, Click was a great one. Here, like I'm looking.
Either
here,
way,
I-
we don't have these big people. I like
no, it's like Selena Gomez is funny and Only Murder is in the Building. She does a really good job with Steve Martin and Martin Short. I'll give her that. That's actually, if anyone wants to go and see like a quintessential Steve Martin Short comedy, like Dave, have you ever seen an episode of Only Murder is in the Building?
I have not.
When I tell you, Julie loves it. My wife loves it. And I don't sit dedicated. I don't watch anything dedicated unless it's like anime at this point in my life and sports. I'll watch it. And like, it is like quite literally those two just being their funniest versions of themselves, which and that's amazing, right? That's comedy gold, those two.
Yeah.
Three Amigos is one of the greatest movies of all time with him and with those two and Chevy Chase. But Selena Gomez just adds a great element of that like Gen Z millennial type of thing or Gen X. Well, like she is
Five more millennial.
but she's like really good and she fits in well with that comedy. So it's like I give her credit. And again, a role I didn't see her succeeding in initially, but really good. But yeah, no, I'm just scrolling through. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Maybe that's just me because I don't pay attention. But it's like then again,
No, but that's the thing. You have to understand something. The people that actually have the most people watching them right now are iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat. They're streamers.
Jake
They're
Paul
not
and
movie
Pauls,
stars.
Yeah.
The Pauls were up there once, not anymore. But they're streamers. They're not
Yeah.
movie stars that get the people to get the younger audience to watch them.
Florence Pugh, Paul, I don't know how you say her
Pugh.
name for Pugh. I
Yeah.
called her Pooh. Sorry, but Florence Pugh, she's on this list. Yes, I know that name.
Cillian Murphy he's a damn good actor.
Yeah, but he's not young.
Name record. Yeah, that's true.
Cillian Murphy is older than us.
Yeah.
He's in his 40s now. I mean, that's the thing. There is no like Tom Holland. Tom Holland, I think, is in his early 30s. He's one. But then again, what is like Uncharted wasn't good. Uncharted was a bad movie.
It was never going to be good. Tom Holland's 28, my age.
Yeah, he's young. And him and Zendaya are dating, so it makes sense. But like he's like, I mean, like this is the problem. Rachel Zegler, if she wasn't such a stupid bitch, probably be fine because she's not a bad actress. She's just a fucking retard.
Yeah, she's done a bad job.
Just killing your own movies. Just shut the fuck up and act like you're actually decent. Stop.
Either way, moral of the story is there's really no, and the movie star is kind of dead. It's dead for right now.
We know all their opinions.
Well, we
There
know
was
all their
so much
opinions
allure
and there's-
before, and that was
and
fun.
there's other outlets. There's other ways to get your entertainment.
All right, I want to go on to something cool here because we've done an effective job of killing our own show. But I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. We went off on a fun tangent there. But this is a really cool fucking article, Dave. We talked about this on a little bit earlier. But Toyota has Toyota's portable hydrogen cartridges look like giant AA batteries, could spell the end of lengthy EV charging, and they can also power your home. So this is one. It actually looks pretty fucking cool. I'm not
really cool.
It looks like, you know what it reminds me of? The Scream pods from Monsters Inc. They had to load up the screams.
Yeah, actually, it does.
Like it reminds me of that more than a AA battery. Like it should have the dots on the side and like that. All right, so Toyota is showcasing a series of sustainable developments at the Japan Mobility Biz Week later this month, including a vision of a portable hydrogen cartridge future, which could apparently provide swappable power for next-gen hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. So here's the thing. As much as I'm still not a fan of like batteries because you can't dispose of them very well, if you can do something like this where it's a quick, easy charge, you're carrying a canister, I mean, it would kill the gas station industry, but that would be pretty sick. If it's like, okay, everyone buys like, you could buy your size of whatever you need and you could just go and fill up at a hydrogen station, get your cartridges, and then you're traveling. And that would be like, oh, we're a little low. We're stopping to get food real quick on a cross-country trip. Hey, just throw in the hydrogen battery real quick. Like, that'd be pretty sick. Now,
Well, it sounds like a future that we've been waiting for, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. Where we don't have to stop at a gas station. Like, you just go.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And especially with hydrogen, we both listened to Glenn Beck, and he was in a show a while ago, but he talked about hydrogen as a fuel source.
Yeah.
A while ago in cars, actually.
Yep. And he was there. He like got a tour of something.
Yeah, I can't remember the whole details about it, but I remember him bringing it up.
Mhm.
So it is a possibility of a fuel source. Now, of course, apparently everyone does anything possible to go away from nuclear, which is fucking retarded.
But here's the thing: we've always said if you're getting away from nuclear, hydro is the way.
That's right. But yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. At least do something else that's energy efficient that can actually still give us the lifestyle we want and not have us go back to the goddamn Stone Age. And that's nice. That's always nice.
This is fucking cool, though. I didn't read this part. Like, I skimmed over it.
Mhm.
So those hydrogen cartridges are light enough to be carried by hand, and I'd imagine that's when it's full.
Yep.
You can turn it into a fucking backpack.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sick. You walk around. Here it is. You could sling that.
Oh, right there. It looks a lot more like the Scream.
Doesn't it?
Monsters.
If I could get a yellow one, I absolutely would. And
It's going to be a thing.
But yeah, no, this is cool technology. More than
this is the type of push that it's just
legit.
like this is like the type of push that you would actually see from people trying to become genuinely more efficient while giving people what they want. Not this whole entire we have to be electric by 2030. That's bullshit.
Yes.
Like, if people want to be electric, make them better. That's simple. And honestly, I've seen electric cars that are getting better and better. So people will get them more and more.
And here's me who likes fossil fuels, who believes in them as well, going, okay, if this is the switch and this is cheap, affordable, and becomes more efficient, fuck it, let's go. Let's still use
one is just
some things.
Like,
this could be our predominant transportation.
Yeah, so little people are married to things in that type of way where they'll just shun anything that's new. Like, it's just not a thing that's so goddamn huge. Where if they see, and all it takes is one person in the neighborhood to get something new, and everyone sees like, okay, that thing's actually cool, or they use it just normally, and it's just as good, if not better than my thing. Why wouldn't I try to make a switch to it?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to read these two paragraphs. It's really cool but Toyota also feels that these reliable and renewable cartridges could be used in a multitude of situations, such as to generate electricity in a fuel cell, to power the home, or even providing hydrogen to burn for cooking. In fact, Toyota and the Rene Corporation are exhibiting a stove at Japan Mobility Biz Week that does just that. Similarly, in emergency situations, a hydrogen cartridge could be removed from the car and used to power any applicable device in the case of a blackout, for example. So imagine if this was ubiquitous right now.
It's like a Type-C
during these
charger.
But imagine if these were
Yeah.
ubiquitous, because people are looking for generators. We have a generator right here. This
Mhm.
isn't everything, which is exactly what electricity was, right?
Mhm.
Electricity was the do everything thing, right? But now, if we could just get hydrogen that can replace a ton of this, hydrogen's fucking water.
Mhm.
Like, we're creating it all the time. It's something that's a very, a circle of life force.
Yeah.
Now,
And that's how you know that so many people are bullshit about the way they tout things about how much they want to knock carbon off and everything. Because like it says right there in the analysis, I don't know what they come up with. But either way, if you actually wanted to move on from those things without just crippling people's lifestyle and what they do in their life and how good we have it as society right now, you would actually just be pushing to put as much money into developing these things instead of just cutting everything from everyone's life.
So they basically say that if they're creating the hydrogen cartridges using renewable sources, then it's better. Because the actual hydrogen itself is generally no CO2. But again, anyone that has a brain knows CO2 doesn't fucking matter. But I digress. But yeah, in the end, it is the best way to do it. But and also there is a hydrogen car out there, a concept car right now. The Emblem. It's
I can't see it. It's blurry, so
yeah, okay.
I can't help you.
But yeah, no, it's not great. But yeah, so Hyundai, BMW, and Honda are all exploring ways of making hydrogen cars right now. And I'll tell you right now, Toyota's on it. Hyundai has been kicking ass right now in terms of the all electric. So I'd imagine they want to get on this right away because they want to branch themselves away. BMW always pushes the envelope, and Honda's just going to be like, okay, Toyota's doing it. How can we make the most affordable versions for everybody? Because you know what? When Toyota and Honda compete, they just make economy cars that everyone can use because they want to sell as much as possible. So you want those two companies going at it, because what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll make these hydrogen canisters. BMW will get it. It'll be $100 a canister. And then all of a sudden Toyota and Honda will come out and say, okay, ours is a little bit smaller and only 50. And that's what it is. And this is not as good. Maybe the BMW one's a little more efficient with the fuel and quicker, but you can afford this one. Instead of doing it in 10 minutes like that one, ours is 15. And people will buy it. So, good on them. I hope this technology goes further. It's really cool. Leon Poltney, cool article. Thank you, techradar.com. I love just discovering random fucking places.
Yeah, it's nice.
like it makes me happy on the inside. Okay. So that was I thought a cool story. All right, let's see. What else do we want to do? Oh, do you want to do a fun story? Because I don't know if we're gonna get to our serious political ones. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Let's do a fun one. Oh no, you know what? Let's get to one serious one, the one that I want to cover.
Okay.
Because it has to do with our guest from the other night, Eric Haight. So there's something serious occurred. Now they're back at work. They're safe. So I'm going to preamble with this. But boom, boom, bam. Overseas meth sent to U.S. election building shuts down office for hours. Now, this crystal meth was sent to the Dutchess County office where our guest from last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, our guest from 2 weeks ago, Eric Haight, works, is the Republican Dutchess County elections commissioner. So it came through UPS from Greece, the elections commissioner said. Now, I talked to him personally because I see him all the time. He said this fucking package bounced from like 5 different countries. So that's how you know that it was someone sent with intent, right?
Yeah.
It was sent with intent to maybe scare or to get someone to put their hands in it and shit like that. But it's a wild story. It was sent from, they don't know. They still don't know who sent it, which is the scary.
Like the origin of
they don't know the true origin.
sender.
They don't know the sender. That is something that is, scary as shit. So yeah. So it came through UPS from Greece. Prior to Greece, the inner envelope had been around to a few countries as well, including France. And then UPS to Dutchess County's Board of Elections. So yeah, it was bounced around to a few different places. The FBI is involved, and I know they'll be working with Dutchess County Sheriff's Office, State Police. In the end, I talked to Eric, and he said, "Hey, this is a bipartisan place. We truly walk." He talked about it. There's Republicans and Democrats there, and all it was trying to do was disrupt the electoral process. And there's shady shit going on. I don't know who would do it, but in the end, this is my plea, I guess. Don't fucking do this stuff. This doesn't do anything positive or negative in a way. Like, it just makes people indifferent to any shit. The election workers are going to go back to work. They're going to do their jobs. And it's like, again, these people have families. I don't care what your political side is. Don't take it out on the workers just because you don't like a candidate. Do not do that, because they have families. They got people they love too. If you're willing to do this, you are the scum of the earth. Whoever sent this is a giant piece of shit. And when they get found, they should be brought in front of the elections commission, and each of them should be allowed to lash this individual. Like,
seeing as it was bounced from country to country, I don't think it was an individual. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think it was an individual. I don't think an individual. I mean, I could be wrong. Someone could be well connected.
Do you think this is like an Iranian thing trying to fuck?
I think it was more than an individual. Whether, I don't know who the hell it would be, because I don't even know like what country would necessarily want to do that, and or a group would necessarily want to do that, or just send one package of meth to Dutchess County. Like, it's a little weird.
I find it weird that we didn't find more at other areas.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there hasn't been another report.
Yeah. So it's weird all around. But if it's going to bounce around multiple countries, basically using them as proxies, I don't see how that's just an individual.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It is weird. So yeah, we're happy that Eric Haight and his group and the other the Democratic Election Commissioner, both of their staffs are all safe. The few staff members that handled the box got to go home and quarantine like yesterday and things like that. It shut them down. They were back to work the next day. Everyone came back. Everyone's fine. So there is no things. But if we find out anymore who did it and shit like that, we'll give the update, because fuck that person. They're a piece of shit. They're scumbags. They're somebody that nobody should support or like. All right. So because of that, we're going to go on to a fun story. Let's see. Dave, do you want to go to Sweden, or do you want to have some trash pandas? Which one?
Let's go to Sweden. I actually find Sweden really funny.
Sweden is fucking hilarious. All right. Where is that one? Here we go. Let's get this one up.
I'll try to pull something up as well.
Oh boy. All right. So this is from the National Pulse. Now, I've never fucking heard of National Pulse, but
you never heard National Pulse?
No,
I've heard National Pulse. I don't remember.
Radically independent. All right. Yeah. This is from Christopher Tomlinson. Country flooded with migrants, plans to ban cousin marriage by 2026. So here, my first thought is like, why are they confusing Oklahoma with a country? That's my first question. But sorry for my Oklahomans watching out there. We love you. So ready? A country is considering a legislation to ban marriages between first cousins and other close relatives by 2026, linking cousin marriages to migrant honor culture and oppression. Sweden, which has saw a massive influx of predominantly Muslim migrants during the 2015 to 2016 migrant crisis, already bans marriages between close family members such as siblings, but marriage between cousins remains legal. Now, this is one of those things where you have a place like Sweden, who is largely, before this, largely homogenous. They were a bunch of white people with blonde hair that were really freakishly tall, and they all wore glasses. That's it. That's who they were, okay? And their women were all just smoke show dime blondes. That is what Sweden is. So they probably figured, all right, let's make sure we have no royalty banging family members, things like that going on. No siblings can fuck each other, because, that's probably written through royal times, right? It probably goes back to having kings and queens and they fucked each other to keep the lineage. So yeah, can't do that. But then they probably realized, okay, we set that rule so that we're logical people as Swedes. So they're probably going to understand, if I can't fuck my sister, I certainly can't fuck my cousin, my aunt, my uncle, etc. Right? Normal. And then you allow a shit ton of migrants, and like they said, predominantly Muslims. And now all of a sudden you got cousin marriage and cousin fucking and aunt fucking and uncle fucking and goat fucking. They didn't ban the goats yet. Then said by 2026, so they're giving these people some time. Now, we've also heard that Sweden is actively doing everything they can to kick these people the fuck out. So they are probably hoping that by 2026, there's so few of them,
they would just leave themselves.
Not have to do this.
Yeah.
That either they would just be able to arrest the ones that do quietly, or they would leave themselves. So first thoughts, Dave, how are you feeling?
Well, I actually basically kind of saw this as a story because of right here. I'm just going to take yours out, put this in. Josh from the Lotus Eaters tweeted out, banning first cousin marriage could encourage Muslims to leave your country. And he comes with percentages and he has a source on the next tweet. Pakistan, 65%. India, 55%. Saudi Arabia, 50%. Afghanistan, 40%. Iran, 30%. Egypt, Turkey, 20%. In rural areas of Pakistan, up to 80%. In the West, it's less than 1%. So there's it'll work. It'll actually work. If people are gonna get arrested for it, it'll work surprisingly well.
So yeah, thank you, Josh. We appreciate all the Lotus Eaters there. They're fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's bring this back up here now. So let's keep going here. So the Swedish Democrats, the populist group, so they work a little different than us. Their Swedish Democrats are the populist, more conservative-ish. They have called for cousin marriage to be banned as part of the government's coalition deal known as the Tito Agreement. Under the new proposal, marriage between cousins and uncles or aunts and their nephews or nieces would be banned. Marriage between half siblings who are currently allowed to marry if granted an exemption would also be prohibited. This is just fucking weird, though.
Yeah.
And I guess because the way we grew up in the West, and you would assume Sweden is a generally more Western country.
It is.
So they kind of don't. So it's like weird. So let's keep going. The center-right government has argued that banning cousin marriages would counter honor culture oppression, a significant issue for many young people in Sweden from migrant backgrounds. A 2017 report claimed that as many as 240,000 young people in Sweden live under honor culture, aka 240,000 Muslims, while nearly 1,000 honor-related crimes were reported in 2020, aka stoning women for fucking looking at dudes. Like, honestly, that's what they're talking about. Like, that's the type of shit that goes on in quote-unquote honor culture. Now, there's different types, right? There's the Muslim honor culture, which is very Sharia-esque, very more brutal. And then you have other honor cultures, like the Asians are very honor bound, like the Japanese, you don't like, and the Chinese, you don't dishonor your family and things like that. Now, they've also modernized a little more. China, not so much. China's still CCP. They're fucking crazy. They'll just kill you in secret. But Japan has modernized a little more, where they still value honor very much, and they will still shun you. But they're not going to cut your fucking arm off. They're not going to kill you in public. They don't do Sudoku. Like, they don't, and I know it's seppuku. They don't do Sudoku anymore. Like, they have come into the modern century. Like, they'd rather shun you as a family member and shut you out of everything family, and that's because you brought dishonor, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is how they function now. Where a lot of these other cultures have still stayed in the freaking early 1900s. Like, it is bizarre, like 1800 style stuff. So let's keep going here, because this is a short article. Cousin marriages are strongly associated with birth defects and lower IQ. Yes, creating significant long-term strains on the Swedish welfare system, in addition to being a major vector for chain migration. So this is the negative of their welfare state, their socialist welfare style state. Because think about these countries, these, your neutral nations like that, your Nordic kind of nations, they are not full socialist. They have a free market system that they use in a welfare state. So they basically all agree to pay 90% in taxes while still enjoying the free market and workplace and things like that, which will always collapse under his own weight eventually. But if you have a bunch of homogenous people that generally agree on where their money should go, then it's a lot easier and more simpatico, because you all have same values. You think the same things are generally important culturally. Mm-hmm. So while you might disagree that a little bit too much money goes to that thing and you want it there, okay, let's just go fight about it the next election and we'll get it done. But generally, I don't disagree. I want my fellow Swedes to be good. Mm-hmm. You brought in this influx of people that don't give a fuck about Sweden, don't care about Swedish culture, don't want to be a part of your culture, want you to rather change for them. And that is why the Swedish welfare system is really hurting, because they're giving a bunch of people who don't belong there the same benefits of the people who have lived there their whole lives, have fought wars, have battled, have kicked and screamed, in order to get the country to where it was when the migrants came in, which is something as Americans we don't understand, because we've never been incredibly homogenous. We've always had, maybe early on, but even then you had the Dutch, you had the English,
not even French. Really.
You had the Dutch, English, French. You had all of them kind of competing. The Spanish were in the South kind of doing their thing. Like, and so it's like we've always kind of had Western values, Judeo-Christian values, and that's kind of all that linked us together. We were, Catholics and Protestants. We didn't, we just all believed in Christ, and some Jews came along, and it's all right. You don't believe in Jesus, but you like God. Like, we can fuck with you. But that's kind of, it's always been our Judeo-Christian Western values that have held us together more than our national culture. Where Sweden, it's a national culture that held them together. So we don't get that in America, which is why Americans completely miss the link when they talk about all of the things going on. And what's that? It's not the Nordic region. What do they always call it? Your Denmark, Norway, Sweden. I forget. I forget the name of it, but it has like a whole entire, that whole area has a name.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders constantly talks about them. It starts with an S, I think. Scandinavians.
Yes, thank you.
I
couldn't remember it. It would not come into
that whole area. Like, you can't do that. You can't replicate it here because of those reasons. But now they're experiencing what we experience.
Yep.
Where cultures clashing will never work in a welfare socialist system. It only works in a more homogenous. And again, it will always eventually collapse. But Sweden's would have collapsed in another like 400 years because you would generally have people wanting to do the similar things. When you allow these people to come in, that, I don't care if they're Muslim. I don't care if they're fucking all Asian. I don't care if they're all American. They just allowed 100,000 Americans to come in there. We're going to change the way that they want to do things, because we're going to look at some shit the Swedes do and go, it's fucking weird. We don't like that. We're going to vote a different way because we want American things. So, I mean, Dave, what's your opinion of this? I thought it was actually kind of funny that they're just like, this.
I think it's actually a really good way to kick people out. I think it's a really good way to get people to leave. It's that simple, because it's their welfare state that gets people to want to come in, and you need to have reasons to leave. You need to have reasons for people to go away, especially people that will not integrate. Because that's the thing. If you can have people come into your country, if they're willing to integrate and in some parts assimilate basically into the culture, into the tradition, to the country, in order to have the country work. If that's not happening, then that's just another pull on the country.
Our grandparents did it.
Yeah.
Our grandparents did it. We're second generation citizens. We're, we're indigenous Americans. I will constantly say I'm an indigenous American, but we're indigenous Americans. We were born on this soil, but our grandparents worked hard to get themselves into this country legally, and then wanted their kids to sit there and, okay, it was easier to communicate in their regular tongue, but also go be American, right? Yeah. Go be American. Your first language is English. Your first language isn't Spanish or Italian, like they also spoke in the home. Their first language was English. And that ingrained in them to raise us as Americans, for better or worse. I wish they taught us Spanish, but we were then raised fully as Americans. Like, we knew our culture. We knew we were Ecuadorian. We knew we were Italian, but we weren't married to those things so importantly that it put it over things. So that's the thing you're getting with the clash, where people wanted to integrate into American culture. Now they don't. The last thing I want to leave off with this, Dave, is this kind of hooks into what we see in our country. Mass migration has had a massive effect on crime in Sweden. What a surprise. Particularly violent crime. In 2023, the country saw 195 shootings and 72 bombings. We don't have bombings here.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to talk about, listen, I don't know. David, what would you rather have? A fucking chance at an AK or a fucking bomb going off next to you?
Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like if you were to look at statistically how many bombings Sweden had in a chart, there would be a certain spike at a certain time of bombings.
Throughout like the years, I guess?
Yes.
When do you think they started?
Whenever this mass migration started, my dude.
I would love to see if they never had a single fucking bomb before this.
They may have had a couple. They might have had a couple. I don't think it'd be over 5. Over 3 would probably be high.
And they were probably from terrorist attacks from other countries, not just Swedes. Like who like no normal person just thinks of going to bomb somebody.
Bombings,
it's next level, dude.
I could somehow be wrong. I highly doubt that was a part of Swedish culture. I for some reason I doubt it.
All right, so they saw the 72 bombings, resulting in only 30 deaths. So they were really bad at shooting and bombing, and not gonna lie. With migration background gangs responsible for most of the violence. So there you go. So yeah, anyone that wants to say that migration isn't going to cause issues here in terms of violence and things like that, just point to Sweden, a really peaceful place that generally everybody gets the fuck along, and they're getting bombed. All right, so we're gonna end off on
They're getting bombed.
they're getting bombed. Last story, fun story. We'll run through it, and then tomorrow we'll probably bring up some of the more political stuff. Let's go to this one, Dave. You particularly enjoyed this story, and I thought it was a fantastic story as well. And it's rare coming from the Guardian, but some things good come from the Guardian.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Guardian's fucking terrible. But this, you know what though? When they're just being campy and fun, this is good. So, more than 100 raccoons besieged the house of a woman who had been feeding them. The woman, who had not been named, which it's not a crime to feed them, so you don't have to name them, near Poulsbo, Washington, called the county sheriff, who sent deputies. Imagine being the deputy. Like, the fuck do I do with 100 raccoons?
I mean, like, yeah, what do you do actually?
So, this woman has been feeding some raccoons, like a few of them. And then over 100 showed up to sit there and try to come. And she called the sheriff's office and said the raccoons were around her place day and night as their population exploded about 6 weeks ago.
Jesus.
So here's a spokesperson for the sheriff, and this is how we put it. Somehow the word got out in raccoon land that they all showed up to the house expecting a meal. The deputies were shocked. They'd never seen so many raccoons in one place. Nobody ever remembers being surrounded by a swarm of raccoons. This was a first. The sheriffs often even posted about it on social media with some extraordinary footage showing the raccoons as if they had decided to hold a conversation in the backyard. So here's that video. Oh, convention. Sorry.
A woman near Poulsbo who's been feeding raccoons living around her home for almost 4 decades found herself surrounded by nearly 100 of the animals on October 3rd.
Go back.
And that's when she called for help.
No, go back.
Tap County.
What?
Go back to the beginning of it. Okay, go.
A woman near Poulsbo who's been feeding raccoons living around her home for almost 4 decades.
4 fucking decades is how you get 100 raccoons. She's probably fed every single one of them before they came to her house together. Now, that makes sense now. It's not like it's been a goddamn week or a month. It's been 4 decades. She had 40 fucking years to feed these raccoons. What do you expect? We don't need the rest of this story. It makes sense now. There's no like, oh, the raccoons are acting weird. No, they all know her. She probably named all of them. Like, what?
You go back.
You can't just drop that line.
You just needed to make sure you heard it correctly.
Yeah, because I was like, no way. They just dropped it like that's normal. You don't feed raccoons for 4 decades. That's called a pet.
You don't feed raccoons for 1 day.
She's fed generations of raccoons. She's a fucking local legend. What is that? Like, how is this a story? This is not an abnormal thing now. She's the queen of raccoons in that area.
Oh man.
Bro, we don't need any more of it. I understand.
So we can definitely go on a little more because they talk about how the neighbors have not been happy. Oh my god. So there's a quote from one of the neighbors. Oh my god. I'd say it's been about the last month or so I've noticed it. Wendy Kronk, who lives there, told, I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with the raccoon. I've even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling. I love these people. Tussling with the raccoon. And I've also noticed that there's been a lot more hit raccoons up on the main road here. She said she hopes it gets resolved soon. I just hope that somebody steps in and helps her take care of the problem. And hopefully she'll quit doing it. Obviously, she fucking hates this woman. I just need to end
4 decades. Like, she's probably lived next to her for years. This is a tradition of hers. I just don't understand how you drop that line as in the news, unless I'm hearing it wrong.
Should we go back and hear it one more time?
Yeah, do it. From what I'm gathering, she's been feeding raccoons for 40 fucking years, dude.
I can't hear. You were so upset that
Well, because it makes it sound like the story is like, man, this is really abnormal. You know, she's only been feeding him for like 2 months. Like she's been like friendly to him for decades. You're gonna influence a lot of people in 4 decades, man.
Oh my god. Okay, let's start this over again.
A woman near Polsbo who's been feeding raccoons living around her home for almost 4
Almost.
decades
It's not actually 40
found
years.
herself surrounded
Almost.
by
Yeah,
nearly
almost.
100
Almost.
of the
Okay.
animals
Like
on
that makes any
October
fucking
3rd.
I wanna
better.
see what
That's
they
when she
else they
called for
drop.
help.
Sorry, okay,
Kitsap
I'm
County
sorry. Go ahead.
Sheriff's deputies came to her rescue after she was forced to run away in her car to escape the furry and very hungry creatures.
So 35 years ago, you first started feeding some raccoons.
Oh, they're
and
interviewing
when
her.
all of a sudden did it explode like this?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
The woman says the raccoons often surround her day and night, demanding food. And she says she's been quoted prices as high as $500 per raccoon to trap and relocate them. Deputies referred her to the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife to help find a solution to her
Look,
pesky
she
problem.
might be a nice lady. You've been feeding him for 35 fucking
She
years.
did this to herself.
You did this to yourself. What do you expect them to do? You're the lady that gives them food. You're their grocery store. Like what the fuck do you expect? You got they're feeling the economy just like everyone else right now. Oh my god.
35
35 years of feeding raccoons.
Who sees a raccoon and decides to feed it? Like, you
Look.
know it's resourceful.
I think raccoons are like they're kind of cute.
Here's
But I
the
wouldn't feed one for 35 years. I wouldn't feed multiple.
If you meet a raccoon at night, generally they're docile. They're fine at night.
Yeah.
If I saw a raccoon during the day like that, that's fucking terrifying. Normally they have rabies. Like here, this is just some bitch that's gonna feed them. But normally they have rabies and you stay away from them. Like, oh my god, Nate, you I'm happy you made it back. Nate, you just missed. I have not laughed like that. Because Dave
TLDR story about lots of raccoons in a lady's yard seemed like it was like out of the fucking blue. Meanwhile, she's been feeding the damn things for 35 years. And that's why they all came to her goddamn house. My mind is fucking blown at that one.
oh my god, that's a perfect place.
The headline buried the lead.
That's a
How do
Guardian
you
for
bury a lead with hundreds of raccoons in a fucking yard? You got to bring up that she's been feeding them for damn near half a century.
It's the Guardian. What do you expect? Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know if I'm able to end out the show. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it.
I don't know why it like it's so ridiculous.
That got you going. Very few things get you going like that. That got you going. Oh my
He's just
god.
so nonchalant. He's been feeding it for about 4 decades. The fuck do you mean?
I actually didn't watch that the first time. I just read the article, and nowhere in the article does it say that she's been feeding her.
Yeah, they don't even mention it. That's why I told you to go back because you don't just say that. Normal people don't feed outdoor things like that for that long.
Did she let him in her house?
No.
No, they surrounded her house. They won't leave her the fuck alone now, Nate. They surround her. Like,
She's your fucking food source. Why would you?
oh my god, she's
Oh
like
my
the Loch Ness monster. I'm gonna need about tree fitting.
Holy shit.
Oh my god, hey, damn Loch Ness monster had 3 fitting. I gave him David. Damn it, woman, you gave him 2 fitting.
Oh man. Yeah, I would say that's about good enough. I'm good off that.
That's a good way to close it out. So
Yeah.
Nate, thank you for making it back.
Yeah, thank you for making it back.
You came back at a good time. Sorry that I just laughed for 5 minutes. That was great podcasting. But yeah, no, it was a great story to close it out on. I appreciate everyone for watching. Go subscribe and like over on YouTube, Facebook, repost, do all that good stuff. Follow us over. No, yeah, Facebook is follow. X repost. And if you're on Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast, anywhere you listen to your podcast,
You're off now.
your
You're just
podcast-
gone.
you just threw me off. You threw me off. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, go give us a good rating over there and follow us wherever you are. So we appreciate everyone for being here. We'll be back tomorrow night with some more fun stuff. Probably get into a little more politics, less